The colony ship Eternal Wanderer drifted silently through the cold void between star systems, her engines dead, her hull punctured in 17 places. 340 Valari civilians huddled in the remaining pressurized compartments, breathing recycled air and whispering prayers to gods who felt very far away. Elder Thessan pressed his trembling, six-fingered hands against the communications console. The Valari were a gentle species. Tall, thin, bioluminescent skin flickering pale blue with fear. They had never fought a war. They had never needed to. Send the SOS on all frequencies, Thessan ordered quietly. His young assistant, Morel, hesitated. Elder, the signal will reach the Deathworlder sector. The humans. Thessan closed his large amber eyes. The Kroth warships were still out there, circling. They had 40 minutes before the raiders returned to finish what they started. Send it, he said. All frequencies. Every sector. Morel sent the signal with shaking hands. They expected nobody to answer in time. They certainly did not expect them to answer. 43 light minutes away, the United Earth warship USS James R. Holloway was running a routine patrol along the outer transit corridor. She was not a small ship. At nearly 2 kilometers long, she was a Titan-class carrier, the kind of vessel other species described in hushed tones and nervous glances. Captain Marcus Webb was drinking terrible coffee in the command chair when the SOS hit their receivers. Distress signal, sir. Lieutenant Commander Brianna Torres called from communications. Valari colony vessel. Hull breaches, life support failing. Kroth raiders in the area. She paused. They're 48 minutes out at standard speed. Webb set his coffee down slowly. He looked at his helmsman, Petty Officer First Class Danny Kowalski, who was already cracking his knuckles over the navigation console. Kowalski, already plotting it, Captain. How fast can you get us there? Kowalski grinned the way only a man who genuinely loved going fast could grin. With the gravity drives pushed to military emergency threshold? 22 minutes, sir. Webb stood up and straightened his uniform. Battle stations. All wings to flight deck. Torres, send a response to the Eternal Wanderer. Tell them we are coming. The USS James R. Holloway turned like a great predator in the dark and began to accelerate. Elder Thessan was reading last prayers when Morel screamed. Not in terror, but in pure disbelief. Elder, sensors. Something just dropped out of FTL. Something enormous. The Kroth raiders had returned early. For sleek, angular warships, veterans of 100 raids, moved in formation toward the crippled Eternal Wanderer. Their weapons were charging. Their commander had already opened a channel demanding immediate surrender. Then the USS James R. Holloway arrived. She came out of faster-than-light travel with a shockwave that rattled the Kroth hulls like tin cans. 2 full kilometers of gray human warship materialized between the raiders and their prey, running lights blazing, her hull covered in gun turrets, missile pods, and point defense cannons still rotating into active positions. The Kroth commander stared at his viewscreen. The human ship was bigger than a moon station. Captain Webb opened a channel to the Kroth formation. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He simply spoke in the flat, calm voice of a man who had done this before. This is Captain Marcus Webb of the United Earth ship James R. Holloway. You are currently targeting a civilian vessel under humanitarian distress protocol. You have 90 seconds to reverse course and vacate this sector. After that, I stop asking. Silence on the Kroth channel for 7 seconds. Then the Kroth commander, a being who had terrorized this corridor for 6 years, turned his 4 warships around and ran. They didn't even respond. Webb led the boarding team personally, engineers, medics, and Lieutenant Commander Torres carrying a universal translator. When the airlock opened and the Valari saw the humans for the first time, several fainted outright. Elder Thessan did not faint. He stepped forward on unsteady legs and looked up at Webb, this broad-shouldered, scarred, impossibly calm creature from a planet that had birthed nothing but survivors. You came, Thessan whispered. Webb nodded simply. You called. We called everyone, the elder said. We did not expect the Deathworlders to be the ones who answered. Marcus Webb almost smiled. Behind him, Kowalski and Torres were already helping Valari children into warm emergency blankets, laughing softly, making silly faces to stop them from crying. "We always answer," Webb said quietly. "That's the thing about humans, nobody ever remembers until it matters." Outside, the stars held their breath. The Holloway stayed until every soul aboard the Eternal Wanderer was safe. She always would.